Welcome to Shake It Till You Make It, where we're breaking down classic cocktails down to their foundation to understand the balance of why they work so that we can all create our own. Today, we're gonna feature something iconic, the Negroni. This is a bitter cocktail. The taste is herby, a bit rooty. Think like a licorice root. And then there are some deep, dark fruit flavors. According to Orson Welles, who is credited with one of the earliest descriptions of the Negroni, the bitters are excellent for you. The gin is bad for you. You know, they balance each other out. So let's see what all the fuss is about. All right, so the Negroni is super easy to make. We've got our Campari, our gin, Sweet Vermouth. So we're gonna make this in our mixing cup. It's really equal parts gin, Campari, and Sweet Vermouth. So we're gonna do an ounce of each. Start with our gin, ounce of Campari. Now the Campari is the digestive. This is really what gives it its bitterness. And some sweetness with the Sweet Vermouth. Grab an ice cube to mix it all together. It smells good, like licorice with deep, dark, fruity flavors. So we're gonna grab a lowball glass, add an ice cube to it. You can also garnish this a couple different ways. You can do an orange peel, a rind, but I like to do an orange slice, which is sort of the more traditional way that they've done it in Italy. And I like to do that because personally, it's a little bitter and I like the sweetness that actually having the orange slice brings out of it. And I think it looks really beautiful and is different than a lot of the other things we've done on Shake It. And there you go, the Negroni. Cheers. Ooh, and then also even before I take a sip, having the orange in there totally takes the bite off the Campari, which I was really smelling when we were just mixing it together. It's good, it's bitter, and the Campari is like this rooty licorice type flavor. Ooh. And it really just builds on itself. They call it an aperitif. This is like a perfect before dinner drink. I feel like all the drinks we make, I finish in 2 seconds. But this is like a great sipping drink. It's really different than the things we've made before, which is awesome because it just shows the range of what you can do in a cup. But yeah, cheers. Most believe that the Negroni was invented at Caffè Cassoni in Florence, Italy in 1919. Legend tells that Count Camillo Negroni asked his friend, bartender Fosco Scarselli, to strengthen his favorite cocktail, the Americano, by replacing the soda water with gin. The bartender also added an orange garnish rather than the typical lemon garnish of the Americano. So this is all really an extension of the Martini family in some aspects. Martinis is all about finding the balance between fortified wine, vermouth, and your spirit. We're expanding that family to sort of be like, how do you balance out the Campari and fortified wine that we're using now from the red Sweet Vermouth? But if we look at how it all started with the Americano, it's also in the whiskey highball family. I'm getting ahead of myself. Why don't we start there and we'll make the Americano, where it all started. We're gonna build this just like we've done with our whiskey highballs, because it's served in a whiskey highball glass. It's a 2-to-1 ratio of the mixer, club soda, with 2 ounces of the spirit. Here, we're actually gonna use 2 different spirits to make up that 2 ounces. It's an ounce of Sweet Vermouth and an ounce of Campari. We need an ounce of Sweet Vermouth, ounce of Campari, add 1 more ice cube, and we'll top it off with some soda water. Really want to use 4 ounces here. And we'll give it a little bit of a stir, just so that the Campari and the Sweet Vermouth aren't all at the bottom of the glass. And then here we're gonna use actually a lemon garnish. Twist there, throw that in, and you have the Americano. Cheers. I love the lemon. It's tasty. It's really tasty. Like, you still get the Campari and the sweet vermouth aroma, but it's nowhere near as bitter. Because the club soda really does balance that off nicely, and it's still a bitter drink, but it's not as overpowering. And the lemon gives it this nice freshness to it that you don't get with the orange. Because when you throw the orange in, it's almost like it really dives into the sweetness and helps like really like build that out. But with the lemon, it sort of counteracts some of that bitterness and gives it this nice fresh touch. Now we're gonna make a Boulevardier. Now this is a whiskey bourbon type version of the Negroni. So we're gonna start by getting a coupe glass, and of course, we need to chill it, so we'll fill it with ice. Similar to the Negroni, you use equal parts whiskey or bourbon, which we have Sweet Vermouth and Campari. I personally really like whiskey, so I want more of the whiskey flavor and bourbon in that drink. So instead of equal parts, I'm gonna balance out 1.5 ounces of whiskey with 3/4 of an ounce each of Sweet Vermouth and Campari. So we'll start off in our mixing glass here with 1.5 ounces of whiskey bourbon, 3/4 of an ounce of Sweet Vermouth, and 3/4 of an ounce of Campari. Mix this on ice. There we go. We have our nice chilled coupe glass. I'm gonna garnish this with maraschino cherries and bring a little bit more sweetness into it. I'm actually gonna put it at the bottom of the glass. The sweetness is gonna get into the drink the whole time, and you get a nice little dessert when you're done with the drink. And the Boulevardier. Cheers. Ooh. That's really good. That's really, really good. So this is something special. I hope, yeah, definitely worth checking out. It's a great drink to pull out at your next party, and I mean, who doesn't enjoy drinking Negronis with the homies? I'll see myself out. Cheers. Oh man, did you forget to like and subscribe? There's still time.